Hello, my name is Lexis Murray, and the book that we're going to be reading today is The Elves and the Shoemaker. In an old shabby shoe store, there lived a shoemaker, Stan, and his wife, Jan. Even though they were poor, they were very happy because they loved making shoes. Shoes for walking and shoes for jumping, shoes for skipping, and best of all, shoes for dancing. Every day, Stan and Jan worked hard making shoes for their little store, and every evening they slipped on their favorite dancing shoes and waltzed the night away. The villagers loved to watch them dance, and before long, people young and old twirled and whirled along with them. All summer long, the shoemakers danced, sharing their joy with everyone around them. But soon the bitter winter came, and as the weeks passed, fewer and fewer customers stopped to buy shoes. What will we do? Worried Stan. Soon we will have no money left to and no more firewood. The store grew quieter and quieter. That night, Stan and Jan huddled by the tiny fire, their fingers too cold to sew and their feet too frozen to dance. Let's go to bed, Jan chattered. Maybe we'll think of something in the morning. But in the morning, they woke up to find the most magnificent pair of shoes. Leaping laces! Who made these? Narrated Stan. Before they could think of an answer, the door opened and in marched their first customer in weeks. Good day, cried the customer. My name is Mr. Morris. I spied these splendid shoes in the window and I simply must have them. The shoes fit perfectly. So Mr. Morris paid Stan a handful of golden pieces and skipped merrily away in his new shoes. Delighted, Stan went to the market to buy some food and firewood. And that night, the shoemaker and his wife danced with joy once again. The next morning, they found three new pairs of shoes, and even more magnificent than the last pair. Stan and Jan could not believe their eyes, but just then, greetings, shoemaker. I am Mr. Mack, and I heard tales of your marvelous shoes. Why, they are even more fabulous than I imagined, he beloved. I will buy them all, one pair for me and the others for my horse Toby. So Mr. Mack filled the shoemaker's pockets with golden coins and galloped off. From then on, there were shiny new shoes every morning. Soon the store was warm and filled with customers every day. One day, Jan said, we still don't know who is helping us. I wish we could thank them. Then Stan had a wonderful idea. Why don't we stay up and find out? So that night, Jan and Stan hid behind the curtains. They waited and waited and waited until the clock struck midnight and tiptoed across the room. The elves got to work with a stitch, 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 and a rat-a-tat-tat, and as they worked, they sang, we love jumping, leaping, and prancing. We were sad when you stopped dancing. So in we creep while you are dreaming, making new shoes bright and gleaming. All night the elves sewed until the sun began to rise, and then quietly slipped back through a tiny keyhole. Stan and Jen were so surprised by what they seen. "What delightful little elves," Stan whispered. "We must repay their kindness. Let's make them their own little dancing shoes," said Jen, "and some dancing clothes, too." So the next morning, that's just what they did. Jan knitted a tiny sweater using tiny needles, then sewed on an apple seed for decoration. Stan crafted tiny shoes from dandelion leaves, then laced them up with daisy stems. And together they made little pointy hats finished with the tiniest pom poms. At midnight, Stan left the tiny package on the workbench just before the three little elves crept inside. When the elves saw their new clothes, they were overjoyed. They giggled and wiggled and danced all night in the moonlight. But as the stars faded, the three tiny elves tiptoed and vanished into the night. That was that was the last time the shoemaker ever saw the elves. But their kindness was never forgotten, and Stan and Jan danced every night with their friends just in case the elves ever returned. And who knows, maybe one day they will. The end.